Hey everyone, it is Dave from My State MLS. Welcome to State Listings Inc., where today we are talking about lights, camera sold, and how you can use video to not only list and sell your properties, but also to market and brand yourself as well as your company. So the first thing we're going to ask is the question is, why should we make videos? And we all know that social media has become pretty much the #1 way for us keeping in touch with not only our friends, but also our clients and customers. And when it comes to marketing your properties, your real estate, your rentals, your sales, first impressions matter. And video is going to be the best way to give that best first impression, not only with your listings, but also yourself as a real estate agent, as a broker. If you can sit down at your desk and create a video about who you are, your fundamentals as an agent, as a broker, so that way potential customers and clients can get to know you better, that's certainly going to go a long way. And videos is really what buyers and clients are looking for. A recent HubSpot research report found that over 50% of buyers want to see videos than any other medium. So we're talking about pictures, PDFs, just general emails. Videos is what buyers want to see. And that same report from HubSpot also found that videos on landing pages also improved conversion rates. So those potential customers, those potential clients went ahead and filled out that necessary form so you could collect their information, so you can convert that lead into a sale. So having a video just makes people a little bit more comfortable and more possible to move forward with that next take action step. So let's take a closer look at that HubSpot research poll. So we can see here that video is one of the main things that people want to see when it comes to your marketing. So what's great about video is it's going to be memorable. And if you can come up with a funny video or something that's going to click in someone's mind, put a smile on their face, that is a great way for brand recognition. And videos are also going to be a great way for you to be seen, have people share your videos, and things like YouTube and Facebook have made it incredibly easy for you to distribute and share your videos to clients, past, present, and of course, hopefully future clients as well. So if you're joining us today, you know that all month long, we are focusing on all the different aspects and steps that are going to be going into creating that video, editing it, and getting it out onto all of your platforms so it is reaching the most amount of audience possible. So today we're going to be taking a look at just preparing and getting ready to make that first video. So let's first talk about getting set up. We're going to talk about all the elements that go into getting set up and getting prepared for that video. One of the first things is, what are you going to do your video on? Is it going to be you sitting in front of your desk? Are you going to be talking about your business, why buyers and customers and clients should be coming to you? Are you getting ready to possibly shoot a video for a virtual walkthrough, for a virtual tour, for a video tour? So making sure you know what you're going to do before you jump into it is a great way to get started. Then there's the other things that we have to talk about on the technological side of things. We're going to need to make sure that we have good lighting. So we have both artificial, which is lights above our heads on tripods set up, and then we also have natural lighting. That's going to be the sun. And then of course, when we're shooting, we're going to want to make sure our camera is on a stable surface. If we just set it on a desk, if we have it mounted to the top of your computer screen, maybe it's built into your laptop, and of course, a camera in general, whether again, it's going to be your phone, a DSLR, a webcam, a regular point and shoot camera. There are so many different ways that you can shoot video nowadays. Most times people are just going straight to their phone because they know that it shoots very high quality images and it's always with us, so we don't have to worry about having a secondary device. Next is going to be a clean backdrop in a quiet area. Everyone always likes to comment on all of the video games I have behind me. So if I wanted to, I could put a cleared backdrop behind me if I wanted to use a curtain, if I wanted to go to a different part of my house. But I also have a toddler in the house. So what I do is I like to stay down here, make sure the doors are locked so no one's coming in, running in on us, and giving us a surprise appearance in today's webinar. So having that all is great as well. Next, let's talk about lighting. So again, we said that there's both artificial, see we talked about natural and artificial lighting. So if you have a sunny room, you may want to use that natural lighting and make the most of it. If you're going to be doing a video just at your home or at your office, sitting at the table, sitting at a desk, take a look at the potential shooting locations within your house and see where you're getting the best light and it's going to look the best. If you can, mid-morning is going to be the best and often the brightest, so it's going to give you the most flattering look. But again, check throughout the entire day. We know that the sun rises in the east, sets in the west. If you've got south-facing windows, those can also be the beneficial because that's going to let in pretty decent amount of light. So if you can, scout out different areas, whether at home or at the office, and see what's going to give you the best natural lighting. And of course, we can also talk about artificial lighting in just a couple of minutes. But if you are going to be using the window as your main source of lighting, you're going to want to make sure that you're not directly in front of the window, whether it's in front of you or behind you. So if you had the window in front of you, say behind the camera, it could certainly wash out your face. It's going to make you look very white and bright, and it's not going to make your background look as good. If you've got the sun and a bright window behind you, what's going to happen is the camera is going to want to focus in on all of that light coming in from behind you. And what it's going to do, it's going to give you that silhouette effect. So that's what you've seen in movies and TV shows where people, it looks like a living shadow because it's going to be very dark on your face and all the light is going to be around you. So when you're working with natural light at a window, see if you can keep that light at a 45-degree angle and in front of you. So either to the left 45 degrees or to the right 45 degrees. If we're going to be also working with natural lighting, maybe you want to do a video outside of a house. Maybe you're getting ready to do a virtual walkthrough or a video tour of a property, or you just want to do a video outside of a property where you're discussing who you are and your business. You may want to utilize the golden hour. And this is where Mother Nature gives us the best possible lighting. Most photographers call it the golden hour. Some of them call it the magic hour. And what it happens is it happens twice a day, whether it's before sunrise or just an hour before sunset. And it's called that golden hour because that's exactly what it's going to give you. It's going to give you that nice golden hue to all your pictures and video. But unfortunately, it's called the golden hour. It's on a clock. You don't get this for a long period of time. So make sure you plan your shoots ahead. If you know you're just going to be in front of a house talking for a 5-minute video, you're only going to be able to get a couple of takes in before that sun starts going below the horizon and that lighting is no longer golden, it's no longer magic, and it's not going to look as good. So if you can, make sure you go in fully prepared, knowing that you have a very limited time frame to get the shots that you're looking for. If you want some extra credit, take advantage of the blue hour, and that happens just after sunset. And what that's going to do is, like the golden hour, it's going to give you a blue hue to your pictures, which again, just for extra credit, this may make some great background shots for some video that you're doing, some B-roll, or if you're doing some still photography, some great still photos of whether you're doing headshots for yourself or if you're taking pictures of the property as well. They may give you some cool effects for the listing that you're doing this video tour for. If we're going to be working with artificial light, so we know that it's a pretty cloudy day here in upstate New York, so I don't have a lot of natural light outside right now. Or maybe the only time we have to shoot these videos is in the evening at home or at the office when everyone is left. So we can use artificial lighting. And the best way to get a nice cohesive look with your shots is going to be using a 3-point lighting system, which gives us a key light, a fill light, and a backlight. The key light and the fill light are what's going to be presented on you. This is going to be a key light lighting up your face. A fill light is going to fill in the shadows so there's no hard edges on your face. And the backlight is going to be behind you. That's going to help separate you from whatever's behind you. And if you're thinking, well, Dave, where am I going to put these lights? I have 3 lights. I've got 3 lamps. Now what do I do with them? Well, let's take a look at this diagram. So we can see that we've got a key light on the bottom left hand of my picture here. I've got my fill light on the right corner. Then I've got my backlight behind my subject. So this is where I'm going to stand. This is going to be me at my desk. That key light is going to point directly at me at a 45-degree angle, lighting up my face. If I didn't have that fill light, what might happen is my nose might create a shadow or my glasses will create a hard shadow here, and it's not going to look as flattering. What we're going to do is we're going to use a fill light And that'll then go ahead and fill in the shadows where that key light originally was shining. The backlight is going to be behind me, pointed at me, just separating me from the background. If we want to add in a fourth light, we can certainly do that as well. And that's going to be a background light. So you can see this diagram slightly different. Again, we have our key light and our fill light facing our subject. So that's going to be our key light and our fill light, making sure that my face is evenly lit. There's going to be no hard shadows. The backlight going to be pointed at me, separating me from the background. And if I had a nice background that I wanted to have well lit, I could add in that background light, which would help eliminate any shadows that I might be casting onto the walls behind me. So you certainly have some options when it comes to lighting yourself for your videos where you're talking at a desk, you're talking at a table, whether you're at home, you're at the office. And what's great about lights is most people have lamps throughout the entire house. So you can go and kind of grab all the different lamps that you have in your home, at your office, place them around different areas of the room and see if you can create a nice artificial light that fills up the screen without washing you out. And what we're going to do at the end of this presentation, I've made a little shopping list where we can kind of see all the different lighting options as well as other hardware that we can pick up to make the best videos possible. So now that we're well lit, how are we going to shoot the video? We know that there are expensive cameras. We can go ahead, we can buy DSLRs, we can buy point and shoot cameras, but the best equipment that we usually all have is in our pocket. We have our cell phones, and we can actually make some pretty decent videos just by using this camera that's built in right into your phone. So let's talk about it. When we're shooting with our cell phone, we're going to want to make sure we're not shooting like this. We're not shooting TikTok videos, remember that. We're shooting professional videos, so we're going to want to make it landscape mode. So that's going to be horizontal the long way. We're not going to be tall because, again, we're not shooting TikTok dance videos. We're shooting professional videos here for our real estate business. So make sure we're going long way with the landscape mode. We're going to want to use that back-facing camera. That's because this camera lens has a higher resolution. It's got better quality. The front-facing video camera, sure, it can be good. You may want to use that just to make sure you're in the frame. But if you're looking to have the best quality video, make sure you're using that rear-facing camera. When it comes to using your cell phone as a camera as well, make sure you're not holding it. Again, we understand if you're making a short 30-second, 60-second video while you're walking through a home, we understand that you may have to hold it. But if you can, get a tripod. They make plenty of attachments. I have plenty of them here. I brought lots and lots of attachments and props with me today. This one right here, I'm going to open this up, is this little guy here. This is spring loaded. This attaches right to your tripod, and you open it up and it clips right onto the back of your phone, and you're going to be able to have this mounted right to your tripod, so that way your camera is not moving, it's not shaking, it's giving you the most steady shot possible. If you really want to up your game, you really want to get professional with your video and your video quality, there are certainly so many different options out there. Of course, the best option is going to be a DSLR camera with the interchangeable lenses. And what's great about that is because you can change out the lenses, you're going to be able to find the best lens based on what you're shooting. But again, with quality comes a greater investment. You're going to have to spend a little bit more, but it could pay off in the end. You could also just go ahead and use a regular point and shoot camera like this little Sony camera that I have right here. Shoots great video, but there are some trade-offs. With a cell phone, we can hook up a microphone. With a DSLR, we can hook up a microphone. However, with point and shoots like this, not all of them have an external input for an additional microphone. So that's something you may want to consider. If you're going to be just shooting a video at your desk and you've got your webcam on and you've got a high quality webcam, you may want to think about just getting a good microphone for your computer. I've got one here somewhere. Like I said, I've brought all my props. Here it is. What I use is I've got one here in front of me on a arm right now. It's called a condenser mic. Looks a lot like this. These are very sensitive microphones. These are very great, but you have to make sure that you're in a quiet room because they are very sensitive, so they'll pick up background noises, anything else going on in the room. So I try to turn everything off. I don't keep any fans on. I don't have any heaters on. everything is turned off to make sure that the microphone's not picking up any other additional noise. If you wanted to, you could also consider picking up something like a lavalier mic, and you'll see these used in television, especially by news anchors. And those are those little microphones, much like this one. It clips right onto your shirt, right onto your collar, right between the buttons. And this is a very sensitive mic as well, but it's not going to be as sensitive as a condenser mic. And what's great about these is these can be hooked up to a lot of different cameras, a lot of different phones. So a great lavalier mic. These are also very inexpensive. And as you can see, they don't take up a lot of space. I've just got this one coiled up inside a little pouch. This can just go inside my laptop bag. It can go inside my camera bag. And I can just take this one with me whenever and wherever I go. So having a good camera and a good mic is a great way to up your game when shooting your videos. Backdrop is also important. We talked about it briefly in lighting. We want to make sure that we're not casting shadows on our backdrop, but you're going to want to make sure that your backdrop is as clean as possible. If you want to make it a little bit interesting, you can just by having maybe some flowers or a painting in the background. Like I said, I like my backdrop for some things because, again, it makes a great talking point when I'm meeting with other clients, other customers, because they can see this and say, oh, wow, that's a really cool room. When can I come over and play some video games? Or they'll say, oh, I had that when I was a kid. That's really awesome. So I like to have my backdrop. If I want, I could also go ahead and use a filming backdrop. I was originally going to set one up today, but I didn't. Essentially what it is, it's two very large tripods with a bar across the top. Looks very similar to a clothes rack, and all you do is you can drape a curtain over it. You can do a bed sheet. So certainly things you can get or make around the house to make a nice clean backdrop. I also have in our storage room is a movable coat rack. It's literally a coat rack on 4 wheels. And if I needed to, I can raise it up high enough. I can throw a sheet over that, and that's going to give me a nice clean backdrop. If you're thinking about going the route of using a sheet, you're going to want to make sure that there's no wrinkles in it and you have it weighted down so it's nice and taut, because again, if people are looking at the background, they're going to see wrinkles in a sheet and it's just not going to look as professional. So if you can, just use a plain wall somewhere in your house, in your office is probably going to be your best bet. But again, when you're working with the backdrop, you may want to use that fourth light, that background light, to make sure that you're not casting any shadows onto the wall behind you. So that is really our shooting 101 of what you need to know before you go in and start making your videos. So next week, we're going to be talking about what it takes to shoot those videos and make them look the best possible. So before we get started next week, here's your to-do list. Get out your pen and pad. We're going to make sure first you have chosen a camera, whether again, you're going to stick with your cell phone. You're going to use a simple point and shoot. Maybe you have a DSLR that you use for your property photographs. So the ones that you do your listing photos with, check and see if it has an external microphone input. If it does, you're on your way to success. All you have to do is then pick up a microphone that's going to work with that camera. And then of course, choose your lighting. Right now on this webinar, I am using a ring light, and I have my box right here. Let's see if I can get it all in frame. So this right here, I picked this one up from Walmart. I think it was only $20 or $30. And the reason I picked this one up is because of all the accessories that come inside it. Not only is it the ring light, but we also get the tripod and all of the different mounts. So this ring light was made specifically for cell phones. Like I said before, it comes with a couple of these different clips where these clips go ahead, snap onto my phone, and I can shoot again in landscape mode. So I have nice widescreen videos. That was only about $20, $30 at Walmart, and you can find them at Target, on Amazon. Pretty much any store is going to sell these types of ring lights. I think you can find even cheaper ones from other stores as well. You're going to want to pick your filming location. So again, I'm here at home. You may want to do your video at your office, from your home office, from the dining room table. You may want to do it from your living room. And before you pick your perfect filming location, make sure you've determined that based on the lighting. So you're going to want to either make sure you've got a room that has that beautiful natural lighting, or if you want to go ahead and use that artificial lighting. Like I said, I'm using the ring light right now. And just to kind of show you the difference that the ring light makes is I've had it on this entire time. If I turn it off, now I'm in a dark room. We can see I've got shadows all over my face. So I've got that, and I also have a fill light here. Let's see here if I can reach over and grab it, which helps further fill in my face, fill in the light. I didn't use it today. I thought I would just stick with the ring light just because we just set that up today. So let's go ahead and just kind of show you some of the things that you can start shopping for when it comes to picking up the best items for your next video shoot. So one of the first things, the most important things, is going to be your tripod. Again, I just did a quick search on Amazon. You can shop local if you want to support your local small businesses, absolutely do that. But again, Amazon is pretty much where the majority of people do their shopping. And I just did it because I know there's so many search results and we can just kind of show you what's out there. I know the dollar store has cheap tripods that you can pick up. I've bought cheap dollar store tripods as well, just to have a small tripod on my desk to use my point and shoot. So many different options out there. This is the tripod that came with the ring light. Nothing fancy. It does exactly what it needs to do. But if you want and step up your game, if you're going to be using a very expensive camera, you may want to put it on a slightly more expensive tripod just because you're not going to want that thing to tip over while it's holding a $1,000 camera. So again, so many different tripods out there. If you want to up your game, you could go ahead and also pick up a tripod that has that ring light built in. So we can see here on this listing here on Amazon, we can see it has the tripod that comes with a nice, this is a huge ring light, 18 inches. I'm only using a small 8-inch one just because I wanted something that was small and compact. But we can also see that this one does come with that ability to mount the camera right in the middle. So that's what's really great too, is you can put your camera right in the middle of the ring light, so that way your face is going to be completely filled with light and it's getting the best image possible for your camera. When it comes to cameras, again, there are so many different options. If you're not looking to spend a lot of money, you don't have to spend any money at all by buying a brand new camera. Just utilize what's on your cell phone. If you've got a newer phone, trust me, you're going to be able to shoot great high definition video with your cell phone. But there are plenty of different DSLR cameras out there. Nikon, Canon, all make great cameras, but with these great quality cameras comes with a higher price tag. If you already have a point and shoot, again, lots of us already have cameras for shooting our listings. You may already have one of these. Like I said, just check and see if it's got an input for an external microphone, so you could go ahead and get one of those as well. If you plan on just doing video right at your desk, most laptops have a built-in camera, but unfortunately the webcams built into most laptops aren't always the best. I think newer laptops are starting to come out with HD cameras, but I've upgraded since, because my laptop doesn't have the best camera, but I know that what I'm using one similar to this Logitech one. Again, webcams can certainly vary in price from $40 up to over $100. Some come with built-in lights as well, so you may want to just browse your options with those as well. Next is we could also talk about studio lighting as well. We know that we can get ring lights, we can set up lights just around the house. Maybe you've got some work lights, you know, those orange big industrial lights. Maybe you've got some of those in the shed or in the garage for when you were renovating and you had to turn off all the power in the house. You could use those as backfill lights, point those at the wall. What I've got is I've also got some of these. These are essentially panel lights. I've got so many different kinds of these. I've got some that are on barn doors so we can close the lights. And these just use a camera battery on the back. And I'm just going to kind of show you. These actually get very bright. So we can see if we just had hard lighting, we can see all of the shadows that present on my face. So that's why a fill light is needed, because a fill light's going to fill in all those hard shadows on my face. But I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. But where with a nice ring light, all of the lights coming right at my face, eliminating most of the shadows. I could probably still use a backlight. I could use one of those panel lights, point it behind me, or we can just go ahead and again look for studio lighting online, where we can get some pretty cheap ones that use regular light bulbs. Some use these LED light panels as well. There are so many different kinds that you can find. Some are even coming out with entire kits. This one I thought was really cool just because it came with absolutely everything. So we can see it comes with that green screen backdrop. So if we wanted to have a nice clean backdrop, we can include that. It also includes all the different lights. We can see we've got our main lights, we've got our fill lights, we've got our backlights at a pretty affordable price, less than $200 for this. Again, this is just using regular, it looks like CFL light bulbs. So they may not be the brightest, but they're certainly, when used in quantity like that, going to give you a great lighting situation for your video. So that's certainly a great option as well. Next, we're going to talk about using microphones. As I said before, I'm using a condenser mic. This one that I use regularly for our webinars just plugs in via USB right into my computer. There are so many different kinds. If you don't want to get a big microphone on an arm like this, or excuse me, you can always pick up a lavalier mic. And again, that's going to be that little microphone that snaps onto your shirt like this one right here. This also plugs directly into your headphone jack right on your computer. So that's going to give you direct audio right into your computer. This is the same kind of input that most cameras have as well. So if you want to hook up an external camera to your DSLR, you're going to be able to utilize that as well. So again, those are some of the things that you can pick up to step up your video quality production, whether it's going to be a microphone, whether we're clipping it onto our shirt, we're getting a nice desktop microphone, we're picking up some nice lighting. If we want to pick up a green screen or a backdrop, we can do that. Then of course, we also have our webcams. If we're looking to just use a new camera and speak at our desk, at the dining room table, in the living room, we can do that as well. Now we're also going to be making sure that we have a nice tripod. Again, we could either pick it up with the ring light or just go with a nice tripod to hold our camera. And the reason you're going to want to step up your game and have the best video possible is because you're going to want to submit your videos to the Dave Awards. That's right, I am not being conceited. That is what they are called, because they are the digital awards for video excellence. Short for Dave. Can you believe it? I didn't come up with the name. So what we're going to do is we're looking for your videos. And what we're going to do is at the end of the month, after this entire month-long webinar series where we show you how to shoot the best videos for your real estate business, we are going to have an award presentation to see who came up with the best videos. So again, make sure you've got your supplies ready. You know what you want to talk about, because we want to see what kind of videos you can come up with, because the top video in each category is going to win some exciting prizes. And if you want to know what's up for grabs for this year's Dave Awards, let's take a look at them. So your award for best presentation is going to be a brand new hard shell camera case to house your camera, as well as a brand new tripod. For most informational, the top video is going to take home a teleprompter as well as a tripod. And for the person who makes the most entertaining video is going to be a blogging kit. Take a look at that thing. That thing is awesome. It's a handle that mounts to your cell phone, as well as has a built-in light and microphone to give you the best quality blogging videos. It's going to be great for doing those virtual tours as well. So that is the Dave Awards, and it's all happening this month at the end of April. So make sure you start recording and shooting your videos now, and be sure to join us next week for the next stage and how you can shoot your video to make the best possible presentation. It's all happening this month right here at State Listings Inc. I know you've been asking your questions throughout the entire presentation. My team's been helping you out and answering them there. Looks like a couple of people wanted to know how far away the camera lights should be from you. So that's really going to depend on what kind of lighting you're using, whether or not you're using ring lights. You're going to be using those large lights with umbrellas that we took a look on Amazon. It's all going to depend. And if it's possible, make sure you've got someone there to work with you to move the lights around to get the best possible lighting. If they don't want to move the lights around, have them sit in the chair that you're going to be sitting in, so that way you can position the lights possible. The downfall of using all of these lights is you're going to need a lot of space because again, those lights can be pretty big. I have limited space here. I have very short ceilings where I am in the man cave / home office. So I don't get to have the ability to use lots of large lights. That's why I also opted in for the 8-inch ring light as opposed to something like a 12-inch or even an 18-inch. I went with something much smaller. So really, lighting is going to be based on what you're using, what kind of space you're using. especially if you're using background lighting, especially if you're going to be lighting what's behind you. That light can pretty much be right at your butt, right behind you, right behind your chair. So that way it has a nice wide range of light dissipated across the entire wall behind you. Gwendolyn wanting to know what's good lighting for better Zoom presentations. So that's really going to depend on what you're doing. When you're doing a Zoom presentation, if you're doing a walkthrough of a house, probably making sure that all of the lights are on in the house, all of the windows are open, is going to give you the best lighting situation overall. Because one of the issues of doing a presentation and walking through a house is that every room is going to be lit differently. And as you do that walkthrough, the lens of your camera is going to have to adjust accordingly. So what'll happen is you may step into a bright room, then move into a darker room, and what'll happen is the room will be very bright at first, then it will get dark as the camera lens adjusts to that new lighting. So one of the things you could do is, we saw it up for grabs in the Dave Awards, is that blogger kit. And what that is it's got that built-in ring light built in directly into that tripod. So that's going to give you nice bright light wherever you go through a room. So that's an option there for you as well. Amrita is asking about video editing software. That we are going to cover in one of our later presentations. I currently use DaVinci Resolve. It is a great free program, and I utilize it because it has some of the most professional tools and features that is usually featured in $1,000 programs, but you can get it for free. You could also just use something simple like the iMovie video editor, which you can get on your iPhone onto an iPad or on any Apple computer. Microsoft, their Movie Maker isn't the best when it comes to being on par with other free options. And then of course you can make very simple edits through YouTube as well. So there are so many different options out there, but again, we'll be featuring that more in one of our upcoming webinars later this month. Someone wanted to take a quick look at the lighting placement again. So we're just going to stick at the basic 3-point lighting. Again, you're going to have your key light. This is going to be the brightest light of the bunch, and that's going to be what's directed at your face. So again, this is going to be lighting not necessarily for shooting property photography, but this is going to be when you're doing videos, when you're going to be talking about yourself, your business, your company. And you're doing, essentially, it's a talking head video where it's going to be you talking to the camera. That key light is the brightest one. That's going to be shot at your face at a 45-degree angle. A fill light is not going to be as bright. That's going to be coming from the other side, shooting on the other side of your face, and that's going to eliminate those hard shadows. We've got two different options of what kind of light we can have behind us. We can do a backlight, which kind of gives you a halo effect because it's going to be pointed at the back of your head, and it's going to separate you from the background. That's going to be pointed again at you. Then we could also add that fourth light, which is the background light, which is facing behind you and lighting the background behind you, eliminating any shadows that you might be casting from the key and fill light that are in front of you. So again, we covered a lot of stuff today. We're also going to be creating a printable guide that you can always go back and review at any time. So I hope to see you again very soon, and I hope to see some of your video submissions as well for this year's Dave Awards, where again, we have some really great gifts up for grabs. So I can't wait to see what kind of videos all of you come out with. Until next week, have a great day, enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you all very soon. Bye.